It's the end of day 16 and we've sailed approximately 1,600 nautical miles. Our average speed has been 5 knots and we still have 1,000 nautical miles to go. That low pressure system now. Basically, when the wind switched from south to north wind, we couldn't follow the drum line very well, so we were just hard on the wind for 2 days, and then we motored all day yesterday, and
then it stopped this morning.
Yeah, the beginning of today, to try to get more north, because we had just made so much east progress but no north progress, so it really just felt like a waste of like 3 days. 2 days upwind and 1 day full day motoring. Now that we are so far east, we're kind of at like the tail end of this low pressure system, and the wind and waves are much lighter and smaller respectively than they would have been had we followed the drum line. So it might have happened in our favor. Like our course may have been favorable because of that. It's not uncomfortable right now. I would say it hasn't exceeded 23 knots. We've got triple reef main. We had a double reef main for a while, and we were flying. We were going like 7 knots, and then kept rounding up. They decided that we should do a triple reef main instead, and reef the jib just a little bit. And we're making really good progress. We're going over 6 knots. Pretty much on average, and we should go around 140 to 150 nautical miles today in the right direction. So waves are perhaps the most formidable I've seen on this crossing, but they're not scary. Like so far the waves we've experienced more formidable conditions in the Kiwi, so let's just hope it stays that way. We're about 800 miles from Sitka. It's 4 in the morning. It's super bright out. 4 in the morning is cold, so I feel like my night launch, I only have 1 true night launch. Last night was great. And the wind was only like, I think up to 30 knots. So it wasn't so bad, but the waves were, we would almost get knocked down like every wave. It was just, they were big. There's nothing we could really do. I think it was the angle. So yeah, also visibility's bad right now, so just checking radar every 5 minutes. There's no wind right now either. I think there's 8 knots of wind, and it's kind of lumpy. Not like band of strong wind yesterday, so I'm having a hard time sailing and this light wind. I'm also going almost direct downwind. So just thinking I'll hopefully get some better wind later today. The conditions today are overcast, probably less than 8 knots of wind, so we are motor sailing at the moment. We're going about 6 knots. We have about 600 nautical miles to go, and that'll take us a little over 4 days to get there from here. We had pretty good wind yesterday
for about 24 hours, and then it just got super light. It's supposed to get much lighter throughout the rest of the weekend, and then pick up a little bit towards the end of next week, but I think we're going to get there before then, so crossing our fingers. Not much to report other than the fact that it's cold. It's about 45 degrees, my guess, and I can't be out for too long until my hands get cold. Unfortunately, I don't own a pair of gloves. I have sailing gloves, but they don't do too much to keep the cold away. So, I've traveled almost 2,000 nautical miles in 17 days, and a handful of things have broken here, but our main sail track broke. So raising in, dropping the sail becomes a little bit of a challenge around right there. Thank God it's right there and not up there. The freezer don't seem to work when we're sailed over, which is problematic because that's most of the time. So we'll have to get that checked out. And what other things have broken? Our VHF does not receive. So we believe it only transmits and does not receive, which is scary. And, you know, we ran into an issue a couple nights ago where we came pretty close to a ship and we'd been hailing them, not really knowing if our messages were getting out, but it took our stern, and so I feel like something was communicated along the way. Yeah, so that's pretty scary, and it was super foggy. We didn't see them visually until they got within less than a nautical mile. So that adds to an already pretty long list of things that need to be fixed on Ciao Bella. The reason we wanted to go to the West Coast in the first place is because it's so difficult to get work done in Hawaii, and it's super not economical. So we're gonna try to get a lot of work done in Port Townsend, most likely when we get to Washington. It's 10 o'clock at night. I'm an hour into my first night shift, and it is frigid in the pilot house. These windows offer no insulation whatsoever, so bundled up.
Hey,
Porter, get out of the way.
get.
You're like a little kid. Yeah, he's literally a kid. This is ridiculous.
You're ruining it.
Porter, it's 8 your tail.
Here. She made all of this.
It's my 27th birthday. It's pretty uneventful today, other than the fact that we are sailing upwind again. It's about 10 to 15 knots of wind. The westerlies are a myth. They don't exist. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy how much upwind sailing we've done and motoring we've done on this trip. We were sailing downwind for pretty much a little over 24 hours. And then, yeah, wind totally switched again. So, it's still really not enough to sail. It's like kissing 10 knots or kissing 15 knots. But usually it's like between 7 and 9. So, hopefully in like an hour or two, the wind picks up a little bit. I'll have the jib.
We are 347 nautical miles away from Sitka. We're running low on diesel, but we should have. We're hoping to have just enough. So,
Jib made pesto pasta, my favorite, for my 27th birthday. Whiskey, Hibiki. We've got a full jib, almost a full main, and we've got some blue skies, actually.
not much to report though.
Yeah, it's been a really boring crossing. Like, I have read so many books. I've never read so much in my life. I've read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've read 11 books. all of the Crescent City series, all the Active Heart series, and then 2 others.
Have that 2 a.m. sunrise. It's kind of nuts how that happens. It's only dark for like just a little bit. As you can see, we're getting really good wind. This is maddening. Forecast is supposed to pick up at 10 from this direction-ish, somewhere over there, which would be great because we'd probably be going like 6-7 knots. But it's not looking good right now. Tell you the truth. Chrissy's sleeping on the diesel tank, so I can't see how much diesel we have left. Hoping at least half the tank, or close to half. It's real annoying having the sail flogging back and forth, but if we put it down, then the boat really starts to roll, tip over. So we do not want that, but it's the first time we've been this becalmed on the whole trip. And it really sucks at this time, since we're trying to run from that low that just keeps moving up in the forecast, unfortunately.
A high-pressure ridge built in behind a cold front, flipping the winds from southwesterlies to northeasterlies and blowing us days off the run line. The wind gods were absolutely not on our side. When we finally broke through, the real westerlies arrived, but they were light. Still, we managed 1.5 glorious days of fast and slightly chaotic downwind sailing. Big seas from a low-pressure system rolled beneath us as we surfed along, finally moving the way we should have been. Then, the wind faded again, and we made the call to motor sail hard northeast to stay ahead of the next low, lining up for the coast.
Nearly 3 weeks since we started our Pacific crossing from Hanalei Bay, Hawaiʻi to Sitka, Alaska, and we believe tonight or tomorrow night is going to be our last night on the water before we get to Alaska. In a relatively uneventful crossing, nothing major broke. The conditions have been mild. It's just been really long, and we're definitely ready to get there. Now we have probably 10 to 15 knots of wind. And we're motor sailing because we really want to get there. And we are going about like 7.5 knots. So that's pretty good for us right now. We have just under 200 nautical miles to go. One of the last passage meals. What do you think?
Saving the best for last.
Thanks. Stats for this trip. We caught 0 fish. I guess we have 1 more day to try, but it's been mostly upwind and beam reach sailing. There's been very few downwind days and a lot of motoring. And so we almost blew through 190 gallons of gas or of diesel, which is a lot. It's been pretty cold for most of the trip, I would say. I think the first week was warm, and then afterwards it got cold. And yeah, we saw like a handful of ships, less than 10 ships probably. The biggest seas we saw were up here, were probably the westerlies. I would say no more than 9 feet or 3 meters. We've seen much bigger in the channels between the Hawaiian Islands. And the most wind, I don't think we ever saw anything more than 30 knots. So, on average, it's been 15 or less knots of wind. And I read 11 books.
In the final stretch, the wind hovered between 10 and 15 knots at 90 to 120 degrees apparent. We sailed when we could and motor sailed when it dropped below 10 knots. It feels surreal to say the crossing from Hawaii is behind us after anticipating the journey for so long. In the moment, the days felt long, and I came to the obvious realization that the Pacific Ocean is in fact really big. Still, the days passed like the wind, The crossing was relatively mild and, although frustrating at points, filled with moments that reminded us why we were out there in the first place.
3:08 in the morning. The sun rose about half an hour ago. So my night shift, my last night shift from 3 to 6 has essentially become just a day shift.
By, I think, 24 hours from now, we'll be on dock. Knock on wood. But it is a beautiful morning. Getting some squalls out here that have been messing with the wind. Usually, or at least when I woke up at 6, we had like 15 knots of wind. Too much, so we put a reef in the main. So we went down to 2 reefs in the main. Just because autopilot was having trouble turning down, so that fixed it, but it also slowed us down, and then the wind started to really die. So just waiting on this squall to pass. Yeah, wind is beam to 150 behind us, and we have 120 miles to go. So that's really cool. It is 1:51 a.m. The sun is almost risen. Land ho! We have Cape Edgecombe right over there. It's pretty wild. And then we are headed into the sound. Just been drinking my coffee, waiting. We're still like 11.3 nautical miles away from the entrance to the sound. The wind is super light. It's like 9 knots from like 120 to 150 degrees. So we still have our main up for stability. Still have that second reef in. There's a big fishing boat way back there that we passed earlier. But yeah, we did it.
This morning, around 20 nautical miles offshore, we spotted land. It was dark and distant beneath a heavy gray sky, barely touched by the light of the rising sun. 10 miles later, we could smell it. Trees, earth, mulch. Something that wasn't ocean, or our own stench. Seriously, no one warns you how bad things smell after 3 weeks at sea. Humpback whales, otters, seals, bald eagles, and ravens greeted us as we entered Sitka Sound. We felt like we were in a National Geographic special.
So it's been, I guess, since 2 a.m. and we've seen humpback whales, an otter, a bunch of birds, and a mulcadoo.
It smells like evergreens. It smells like a Yankee Candle.
All right, we're dropping the mainsail after 22 days. Just making it inside the breakwater. It is gorgeous in here. Absolutely insane. Seen some bald eagles over by the airport to the right. Oh, that's a plane coming at us. What do you do?
I don't know.
Please don't hit us.
We dropped the sails and motored into our slip at Eliason Harbor around 8 a.m. local time. Cheers. A successful crossing. Cheers. Cheers, Chabella. Not bad. I like it.
Yeah.
Not Coors, but it'll do. Alright, so we got in this morning. What time did we get in? Like 8 o'clock? 8 or 9. And then they put us in slip float 2, slip 8. Crazy calm in here. Like, not a lick of wind. Space is huge, which is really nice. I think the easiest docking experience we've probably ever had. Most like carefree and chill. But it is expensive here. So I think for just the week it was like $700. But we have a couple of things to fix. Unfortunately, our shaft seal is leaking a little bit. So when we motor at higher RPM, so we're going to try and fix that because I don't want to be stuck with only being able to motor at like 1500 RPM for the next couple months. And then I'm going to a bachelorette party this weekend in Forks, Washington. So 2 hours south, 2 or 3 hours south. And then when I come back, we'll have a couple days to hang out together and explore Sitka. It's a cute town. We got like the lay of the land today. Lots of cute shops. Big grocery store, liquor store. And yeah, what else did we get today? A candle, because the boat smells hard. Smoked salmon, bear spray, gloves, because we don't own a pair of gloves. I think it's kind of cool. And a collar for a port.
After almost 3 weeks at sea, we're finally tied up in Sitka, Alaska, with a cold beer in hand and the boat finally at rest. We spent the morning walking around town, picking up bear spray, and grabbing a local beer. Porter got a long, well-deserved walk. Everyone we've met has been kind and welcoming. Now we're back on the boat, salty, stinky, and exhausted, slowly piecing together what comes next. First is definitely a nap, then a shower and laundry. After, we'll deep clean and start fixing the things that broke along the way. But for now, we're just sitting still and reflecting. We crossed the Pacific, and it feels pretty damn good. Thank you for joining us on our Pacific crossing. Alaska has been unbelievable so far. You know that quote by John Muir that says you should never go to Alaska as a young man because you'll never be satisfied with any other place as long as you live? Yeah, he might have been onto something.